Hey, I'm Stuart, founder of DMARC Defender, and in this video we're going to be setting up the email authentication protocols, DMARC, DKIM, and SPF, using Klaviyo to make sure all of our emails are sent and we're not getting this 100% bounce rate like I got for this campaign. So for the rest of the video, we're quickly going to set up a quick domain on Klaviyo, just kind of show what the process looks like, setting up those DNS records. Then we're going to talk about the DMARC record itself. This is one that Klaviyo doesn't manage for you, which is good. And then we're going to talk about an alignment pitfall, specifically why you can't use strict alignment with Klaviyo. Again, I'll explain what that means, but surprisingly, there's no docs on this anywhere, and this is also how I got that 100% bounce rate. So we'll talk about that, and then we'll cover some common mistakes that you could make while setting up your DMARC record. So first, getting started, we need to add a domain. So if you haven't already done this, you go to settings, you go down to domains, and here we can add our sending domains. So I'm going to say I'm adding a new marketing domain. The root is DMARC Defender. Here I'll use hello. We'll go with dynamic so that they can use the best provider. So here entry is a third-party service. It's not part of Klaviyo, but basically it'll try to automatically add the DNS records for you. Sometimes entry needs like your username password to log into services, and your DNS protection or your DNS is usually a pretty sensitive asset of yours. So I don't personally like it, but if it's simpler for you to do that, you can use that. Instead, I'm just going to go to manual, click other. And these are the DNS records we need to install. So installing DNS records, it may sound scary, but it's really not too bad. Basically, we're going to create all 5 of these records. It gives us the type, the subdomain, and the value. So at this point, you can go to your DNS provider. So for me, I'm using Vercel, but it could be GoDaddy, Cloudflare, Route 53. All of them pretty much look the same. Basically, what you're just going to do is copy these fields. So hello, oops, wrong one. Hello would go here. We said type of NS name server, and then the value of the name servers of Klaviyo. So we would click add and add all 5 of these records. This is just a verification text record, just so you can prove that you're the owner to them when they do specifically your account is the owner of this domain, which is necessary for something called subdomain hijacking, a little bit off topic. But when we give them the NS records, basically we're giving them authoritative control of the hello domain, the hello.yourdomain.com. And so what that allows them to do is create custom records on your domain on your behalf. And so what will happen is Klaviyo will actually install the SPF and DKIM records for you. So they will completely manage that for you, and you don't have to worry at all, which is pretty nice. But the downside is you are giving them full control of your DNS for this subdomain. Cool. So once we've done this, so at this point, the SPF and DKIM are set up. What's next is for us to install DMARC. To show what that looks like. It's possible your domain already has DMARC, and so what you can do is use the domain check tool to see what you currently have installed. So I'll put this in the description below, but you just type in your domain, you click here, and if you scroll down a little bit, you can see what your DMARC record is. So we can see on this domain, I already have a DMARC record, and it's saying policy is reject, so I block unauthorized email. I send reports to this email address, and I also have strict alignment on, which I don't normally do, but I wanted to test something, and we'll talk about in a second. If you use strict alignment, your emails will be blocked. Cool. So if you don't have DMARC, we need to create a DMARC policy for you. And again, it's very simple. It's very similar to the records we just installed a second ago. We just need to decide what our value will be. So for DMARC, the record type will be a text record. It'll go here at _DMARC whatever your domain is .com. And there's a couple different values you can put depending on your, level of security and maturity and all that stuff. The simplest record you could put is just v equals DMARC1, p equals none. And so basically this is the same as having nothing, but it fulfills the sender requirements for like Google and Yahoo if you're a bulk sender over 5,000 emails a month. So this is a good starter policy, but it does nothing in terms of security. You get no observability, nothing like that. The next level would be v equals DMARC1, p equals none. This is your reporting address. So basically when the email servers like Google and Yahoo receive emails being sent from your domain, they'll remember it for 24 hours and they'll send these like aggregate reports out saying like, hey, I received these emails from these people saying that they were from your domain, and this is whether or not I allowed the emails through. Like, so if they got bounced or if they were quarantined, stuff like that. And so what you can do is you can say mail to you. So this would be, your email address or admin or maybe some group address at yourdomain.com. And so Google and Yahoo and all the other email receivers will send these reports to you every 24 hours, letting you know what was bounced. And so this can be super useful, just like keeping track of to see, is a bunch of my email failing? And this is not just for Klaviyo. This is for all of your services. Is email being bounced? Do I need to have, an IT person come and investigate, etc. This is what those DMARC reports look like. Unfortunately, they're XML. They're a little bit convoluted. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. Again, you don't really have to look at these unless you need to, but it's a good idea to collect them now so that if something goes wrong in the future, you can start analyzing this and figure out which one of your services is broken. Thankfully, there are tools. If you don't like analyzing XML, there are tools that'll actually collect those reports on your behalf and aggregate them and analyze them for you and just alert you when something is going wrong. DMARC Defender is one of those tools. So you would create an account at DMARC Defender, and we would just collect those reports, and we have a nice little dashboard that says like, hey, this is an example for Klaviyo. I'm in the DMARC Defender dashboard. We can see Klaviyo. I had that campaign that failed due to strict alignment, which we'll talk about in a second. And then I sent some successful emails. And so we can see both of those. And from here, you can drill down and kind of investigate what either went right or went wrong. Next, we're going to talk about strict alignment. So I see this. This is something you can put in your DMARC policy without going too much into the weeds. The way Klaviyo works is it will send emails from, in my case, Stuart@dmarcdefender.com, even though the branded domain was send.dmarcdefender.com. And this is possible because of relaxed alignment. This is the default in DMARC. But some organizations, and for security reasons and policy reasons, they will enable strict alignment, which means that things have to come from the same domain, which means Klaviyo would have to send emails from Stuart@send.dmarcdefender.com. But because Klaviyo does not currently check that, it'll just say it's going to send from Stuart@dmarcdefender.com, and it will fail. And you'll get that 100% bounce rate like I showed a second ago. If you have strict alignment on, and it won't alert or do anything like that, it doesn't check. So something to keep aware of, if you are using Klaviyo, check your DMARC policy and make sure you're not in strict mode. If you are, either you need to relax the strict mode, you can just remove it, or you can go to R, which is relax. Or in Klaviyo, when you do your campaign and it has the from address, you need to say, Stuart@send.dmarcdefender.com. Obviously, put in your own domain. But anyways, pick up whatever DMARC policy you would like and install it at that text record, again, _DMARC and then your domain.com. I can show what this looks like. I would go here. It would be _DMARC. We'd create a text record. And then from here, you'd copy whichever policy you would like. If you are going to use a vendor, you need to create an account, and they'll give you a unique address that is only for your account, be like ABC123, something like that. Copy this. And you'd put it there, and then we can increase the TTL, the caching period. And you'd hit add. If you already have a DMARC policy, do not create another policy that will break things. And the tool will also notify you that something is broken. So if you do anything wrong, rerun it through the domain check tool. And if there's two policies, or if there's like a weird space somewhere, or if there's anything is broken, it'll let you know that something is broken. And otherwise, that is pretty much it. Like I said, the domain check tool will copy or figure out most issues. Like I said, it'll find missing spaces, duplicate policies, typos, all that stuff. So check that out. Again, it's completely free. Again, don't use multiple DMARC records. I've seen many people do this. Make sure you don't already have a DMARC record before adding another one. Same with SPF. We're not adding SPF records, so it shouldn't be as big of a case here. But if you have multiple SPF records, your policy will break and email will not be sent if you're in enforce mode. And lastly, I highly recommend, you don't have to go with DMARC Defender, but you can go with anyone. If you don't have DMARC reporting enabled, I'd highly recommend enabling it just to start collecting those reports in case something goes wrong. I think for most organizations, email is an essential component of your business, so making sure that your customers are receiving the emails is usually pretty important. With that, if anyone has any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. I'm happy to answer them, and thanks for watching. Cheers.